What's up guys? It's Tuesday. That means it's Electric Tuesday. Now who wants an update on my project, if you can call it that, my desire to break into this world of esports and sim racing? Of course you do. Roll the sting! Now, you may remember recently I asked you for your advice on how to get started in sim racing. So many of you got in touch. The advice you gave me was unbelievable. The amount of stuff I learned from reading your comments and the articles you linked me to, the YouTube channels you linked me to. I mean, my goodness, my mind was blown and I'm still ploughing through all that information. It's amazing. Whilst going through all of that, whilst learning all of that and assessing what I might want to do with it all, I was blown away to get a response from Logitech, one of McLaren's sponsors, who offered to send me some hardware to get me going. And I'm dead excited to say it's arrived. Right, that happened on Friday. Friday afternoon, the boxes arrived. They were sat in the corner of this very room, whilst Claire and I on Friday evening sat here, relaxing, glass of wine, watched a movie or something. Eventually, Claire said, "Oh, I've got to go to bed, I'm just too tired." And I said, "Got a couple of things I need to do, I'll be up in a bit." Well, there was no time to waste before this happened. That then, of course, took me till reasonably late, but it was never too late to give it a go. So I had to get the thing out of the box, give it a try, and that basically took me up into well into the early hours of Saturday morning, which meant that Saturday was a write-off because I'd had hardly any sleep. And this, I've already realised, is one of the big dangers of gaming and sim racing. I'm going to have to be very self-disciplined. But unbelievable. Thank you so much, Logitech. Have a look at what they sent me. I mean, just look at this. Steering wheel and pedal set. I bought this to go with it. But what an unbelievable gift from Logitech. Thank you so much. I can't stop saying thank you. It is unbelievable. I mean, I've been out of this game for a long time. Whenever I've played the F1 game on my Xbox over the last couple of years, because it's been occasional, I've just used I've used one of these. Now, the experience is nothing like what you get when you use one of these. This is a full force feedback steering wheel, and the force feedback in this is substantial. It's pretty good, it's brutal going around some of the corners. Got it cranked up to the max, but just the immersive feel it suddenly gives you to be sitting in this position, to have the feedback on the wheel. The pedals are really kind of strong. You can put a huge amount of brake pressure through that brake pedal. They're no longer the cheap kind of plasticky things that I kind of remember from having as a kid, where you'd clamp one of these wheels onto a table, and if you went around a corner too heavy-handedly, you'd snap the wheel. This thing is a full leather steering wheel, metal paddle shifters on the back, a series of buttons that you can configure to whatever you want, and as I say, the pedals are metal. They are substantial, and the brake pressure, or the brake pressure you can put through it, is really very, very good. So the driving experience is like nothing I've done before on the Xbox. It's completely changed the game for me, and I absolutely love it. As you can imagine, the kids obviously love this as well. So I haven't yet tidied up all of the wiring down there, which I will do, obviously, to Formula One car standards. But at the moment, I'm adjusting it every day so that the kids can get on it and have a play. Now, eventually, on Saturday morning, when we did wake up, we came downstairs. I said to Claire, just pop your head in that room, just have a little look at what turned up yesterday. And she opened the door, and all I heard was, "What the f*** is that?" She said, "I've spent months decorating this room, making it perfect, making it exactly how I want to be, and you go and dump that monstrosity in the middle of it." Which is exactly the response I was expecting from her. But I'm pleased to say But actually, it does fold up to be a lot smaller than this. So it kind of does work because it will go in the cupboard under the stairs. It just means me getting it in and out. I thought it was probably a bit much to have this permanently dumped in the middle of this room. But for now, it is here. It is here to stay for a little while. And I'm making the most of it. It's fully adjustable, of course, just like the real thing. You can move the pedals, the whole pedal box further away from you or closer to you. You can change the angle of those pedals. You can change within the game things like the dead zone within the software. So how much of the throttle pedal you have to move before the actuator actually actuates the throttle within the engine. So very, very similar in lots of ways to the real thing, in that it's completely customizable, completely configurable to suit you as a driver exactly how you want it. Exactly the same with the steering wheel. The steering wheel can be moved towards you, it can be moved away from you. The level of force feedback can be completely adjustable. And the buttons, of course, can be configured to do whatever you want it to do. I'm using it in the F1 game, of course, but this can be used with any of the driving games on the Xbox. And so for that reason, the pedal box has a clutch pedal. Obviously, we don't use that in the F1 game. But for lots of other games, you would use that. And for lots of other games, you would use different things on the steering wheel for different operations. So it really is quite a usable thing for much more than just F1. Although, I've got to say, for almost all of the time in my hands, I will be driving around in an F1 car. So I spent most of the weekend driving around the Abu Dhabi track, learning it, getting to grips with it, really trying to fine-tune the car to deal with the challenges of that particular track. And I found the whole process really, really fascinating. I haven't gone as far as actually racing yet. For me, I don't know if this is just me, let me know what you think. For me, the personal challenge of continually trying to improve your lap time is actually the most enjoyable thing for me. That's what I get most out of, is trying to improve the car and improve my own performance and my own technique to bring the lap times down and down and down. And that's what I've been doing over the course of the weekend. It's been a real eye-opener as to what this kind of technology, this kind of kit can do for you as a gamer. Now, I know lots of you in your advice that you all sent me talked about real sim racing being on PC, on different platforms, and I don't have a dedicated gaming PC yet. I am considering those kind of things. I'm looking at all of those options, but this for me is a brilliant way to get started, a brilliant way to get involved in this kind of thing, because it's a craft, and I've got to learn that craft because I haven't done it for years, since I was a kid, really. So that's a whole new learning process, and in doing it through using this Logitech kit has just made it so much more immersive and enjoyable. Oh, wasn't really concentrating for that corner. The feedback it gives you through the wheel is actually really good and can be completely configured as well. So you can start to get impressions of what your tyres are doing, whether you're spinning tyres up. I don't know how these drivers talk their way around a lap for the TV as they sometimes do. I can't do it. I've got to have total concentration on what I'm doing. DRS wide open now along this back straight, the shorter of the two straights, up to 8th gear. Okay, here we go, starting a lap. Let's try and see what we can do, talking our way around it. Oh, overshot that one again. I really struggled that first corner. That's tricky. The second corners are flat, but you can feel like you are really on the edge of aerodynamic grip through there. In the real thing, it must be absolutely terrifying. So I've got work to do if I am going to get anywhere as a sim racer. I fully appreciate that. But I tell you what, it's a lot of fun practicing. No, that's not helping. That's not a hazard. That's not a hazard the real drivers have to contend with. down. Oh my goodness. No, don't touch that. Don't touch that. Oh God. For real, don't touch that. Oops. Oh my God, I'm all over the place. Right, I'm going to stop it there. I've definitely got a lot more work to do to become proficient at this. It is a whole new experience, but one that I'm thoroughly enjoying, and I hope you'll be able to follow along with me. Really, really appreciate all the advice that all of you have given me about sim racing. So much of it, I can't reiterate that enough. I hope that as I progress with this, and it's going to take, over some time, over the off season, of course, great time to get into this. If any of you want to come along with the journey with me, at some point, I will, when I get into online racing, which I'm sure at some point will happen, I will share my details. Perhaps we can have some races together, I don't know. But for now, I want to say a massive thank you to you for all your help in just getting me started in this, because now I feel like I've taken the first step. And obviously a huge, huge thank you to Logitech, because this is just amazing. Not something I expected, but thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Right, that's about it for this week's Electric Tuesday. But I hope it's enjoyable. I hope it gives us something, whets the appetite of perhaps something that's coming in the future. And if you've got any more advice, feel free to let me have it. Cheers, guys. See you tomorrow.